Most of us work our life away. And there's a reason for that, because that's what we were taught. Getting them on that right road and finding that location for them so they'll be successful. Well, through all of that, we're dream makers. We're helping people find that way because at least 95% of us, we get to a certain point in our life that we become life-strated. We're frustrated in life. And I remember, man, I would wake up every 2 weeks going, do we have enough in the bank to make payroll? And, you're constantly, chasing money, trying to figure it all out and try to get it. Anyway, I did that for 16 years. One day I woke up and I've had it. I'm not doing this anymore. There's got to be more to life. I was working 8 days a week, 16-hour days. And I'm not exaggerating. I was a young guy ready to get a heart attack. If you read 15 pages a day for 365 days, you have read over 5,400 pages. So is 15 minutes a day good enough for you guys? Yeah. Can you do that?
Yeah.
15 pages. At the end of the year, 5,400 pages. That's huge. That's about 18 books. How would your life be changed from today to 1 year from now if you could have read 18 books in that year? Time, how are you selling your time? Are you selling your time on the cheap, which most of us do? Or are you selling your time to the highest bidder? Do you have a Dollar Tree store selling your time? Or do you have a Neiman Marcus selling your time? It's how you look at your time.
All right. Welcome back to Little Wild Experiences, the podcast where we explore one question: what experiences shape who we become? I'm your host, Zhara York. Today, I'm joined by Ted Kopecko, author of the international best-selling book, Finding Joy, Journey of You, entrepreneur, commercial real estate broker, and speaker whose message has inspired people to shift from life-led to joy-led living. Ted has spent more than 3 decades in business and entrepreneurship, but what fascinated me most wasn't only his success, it was the experiences that led him to redefine what fulfillment truly means. And before we begin, I want to start with this. Success without purpose can leave us feeling stuck. Living intentionally begins when we align our mindset, identity, values, and the way we choose to spend our time. Ted, welcome to Little Wild Experiences. Thank you for being here.
I love being here. I just want you to tell you how honored I am to be here with you. I mean, I do a lot of podcasts, and I want to tell you, a lot of them are just out there, right? But every now and then you want to cross one that provides so much value to your audience. And I want to congratulate you for your podcast and what you're doing. Hey, audience, if you're listening right now, I hope you are. Let's give Zhara a big hand. Put a yes in the chat box and say, I'm all in.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm doing it with love. But before, I really want you to tell the audience who you are, because I think it's important to start. So where are you joining from? That's the first question I have.
I'm over in California, up in the Sacramento region, which is the capital of California. It's like about an hour and a half from the Bay Area and about an hour and a half from the Sierras. So we're like right in between. And I always say this to people, if Sacramento had an ocean, it would be a perfect place to live.
I love California, except for the traffic, though. The traffic is terrible.
Yeah.
But, okay, so your book, I mean, I couldn't read all of it. Of course, it was, limited time. But I did a little bit of research. I fell in love with the theme and the message. Most importantly, the message. So your book says that joy isn't a fleeting emotion, right? And it's an acronym for Journey of You. I love that idea. What does that really mean, and how did that realization change your own life?
Yeah, I mean, great question. And it's actually a complicated question, because Finding Joy, Journey of You is not about me at all. It's a book about all of us. All of us, we are on planet Earth here, playground Earth, as I call it. And
Mm.
we're just, I found in my journeys that there's a common denominator that we all have. I don't care where you're from, what country you're from, or anywhere around the world, that we all kind of have all same aspirations and dreams and hopes for our lives, but somehow they get squashed. And they get
Yeah.
squashed because of what we were taught when we were young and how we created a work life for the rest of our life without really trying to find our main purpose in life. All of us have a great purpose that we can offer the world. And so what I found is that most of us work our life away. And there's a reason for that, because that's what we were taught. Now, give me a yes in the chat box, if there's a chat box
Okay.
here, on
Yeah.
that. And if you're driving or so forth, this is audience, this is interactive. Nobody around you will probably know what you're doing, and that's okay. Let them think you're a little crazy, but
Yeah.
yell out yes every now and then. Just scream it out. Say, yes, I'm with you guys. I get it. I am exactly where Ted's telling me where I'm at right now. And I'm not clairvoyant. I've just put myself in a number of businesses in my life. Kind of just a little bit about me, everybody. I'm a commercial architect by trade. I'm also a commercial broker where I buy, sell buildings. And actually, one of my purposes I just really enjoy is helping small businesses, right? Helping that person who's got that dream of that salon, or helping that person that has a dream of maybe opening up a brewery, getting them on that right road and finding that location for them so they'll be successful. Well, through all of that, we're dream makers. Really, we're helping people find that way, because at least 95% of us, and I would really want to get into this, Zhara, because it's what we were trained. But at least 95% of us, we get to a certain point in our life that we become life straighted, right? Life straighted. We're frustrated in life. And a lot of us, we get to a certain point that we're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Enough is enough. There's got to be some greater purpose to ourselves. We're here somehow. And I don't know how we come across this revelation to us, but sometimes it happens to us maybe in our 30s, 40s, 50s, certainly in your 60s.
Yeah.
Because you know what's happening in our 60s? The
What?
ride that we're on, you can kind of see the end of it coming up. So time
You don't have that
becomes,
much time left.
right. Time becomes extremely important, right? So knowing all that stuff, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I started doing a lot of blogging on Facebook, and I it was more of a business blog in terms of entrepreneurship and so forth. And I came across the word joy. And I went, well, what's actually joy? It's got to be more than just having a Sunday barbecue with your family.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or coming out of Disneyland and you're just joyful, right? So I started deciphering what joy was. And I thought, well, joy is really about life. And joy is not that momentary thing. It's a long-standing life term for us. And then I started expanding that and saying, well, let's break joy down. What actually is joy? And joy is actually the journey of you. It's our lives. And so joy is really the journey we lead in our life. So at the end of life, we're either bitter or we're better. And what Finding Joy, Journey of You does, it really tries to help the reader and all of us get to a certain point that it gives us a respite to say, is this how I want to proceed in my life? Is this where I want to keep going? Because I see people, working their lives away, and then at the end of the day, you know what that leads them to? And nothing wrong with this if you choose it, but an orange apron working at Home Depot, or a blue vest greeting people at Walmart. And then you
Yeah.
really think about where your life is. Was that it? And this is
Yeah.
where people say, wait a minute, there's got to be more. And now all of a sudden they get scared. And they get so scared that they don't know what the next step is. They don't know how to move forward in their frustration. Now, frustration, I will tell you, is a great motivator. It's the first step to start changing your life. So when I started writing Fighting Joy, everybody, it's a real book. It's about 400 pages. It took approximately 3 years to write it. So it's not AI driven. This is a real book. And if you want to change your life from where you're at here to where you want to go there, it takes work, right?
It takes
Unless
work,
you win
and
the lottery.
that's the thing. I think one of the things, I mean, it's easy to say, right? But what about when, in this industry, for example, I'm in real estate and in finances, you see this a lot. People get busy. People get busy, and then they're trying to chase, clients and get business. And, that's the goal. I'm going to chase clients and I'm going to close this deal because I need money, because I need to get there, because I want to get this life, because I want to do that. But is that the way to actually be successful?
So let me give
That's a
you
good question.
yeah, that's a great question because, and I do want to get in part of this because it's important to dissect what joy alignment is, but you just mentioned it. And to encapsulate it, you're right. Most of us chase money. We all chase money, right? And the reason we chase money is because we have responsibilities at the end of the month, right?
Correct.
Credit card debt is like 17 trillion. So come on, guys. I know where you're getting your money from. It's the little bank in your pocket. Struggle, the meaning of struggle is the loss of freedom, right? The
Like
meaning of
that.
struggle is the loss of freedom. People in struggle chase money. Success chases value.
I love it.
So this is a completely mindset shift that if you want to change, you literally have to make. And the reason for this is this: it's just not words. There's some real basis for where we're at. Most of us grew up, and let me kind of begin this way. Most of us grew up, right? We were born, right? At that moment in time, and I believe this, I don't have any scientific knowledge about it, but I do personally believe in that one moment in time when we were born, we took our first breath, right? We had a growth mindset, right? We didn't know any negativity until 2 minutes later, when all of a sudden we felt something and the doctor held us up by our legs and slapped us in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of a metaphor of almost like, hey, congratulations, now you're in life and now you're going to get slapped, right?
Yeah.
From that moment forward, it's kind of funny, but from that moment forward, hey, everybody, give me a yes on that. Were you slapped in the butt by your doctor?
Yeah.
So from that moment forward, what happened? Our parents took us home. We were toddlers. We were told what to do, what not to do. Don't eat this, don't eat that. Sit down, get up, stop picking your nose, right? And we were starting to conform to what our parents were saying. Nothing wrong with this overtly. But then what happened next? We went to grade school. And what was grade school teaching us? Yes, there was subjects. We had maybe math, a little bit of math. We had a little bit of maybe history or whatever. But at the end of the day, what were we really being taught? We were being taught sit in a desk with a bunch of other people, and the teacher in the front of the room was your future boss, right?
Yeah.
That was inbred to us over and over and over for at least 16, 18 years of our life, maybe 20. From grade school, you went to high school. What did you do? You sat in a desk. You had the teacher in the front. It was the same dynamics, maybe different subjects. You were learning different subjects. That's great. But at the end of the day, what we were doing was creating an industrial work society. We weren't really creating entrepreneurship, an open mind. We were creating a very directive type of existence. Now you go to college, right? And you start getting some bills. You got rent payment. All of a sudden, You graduate from college. Now, what were you taught for at least 16 years of your life, 18 years of your life? You were taught to sit at a desk, be mindful, conform, fall in line with
Follow
the other sheep,
directions. Yeah.
right? And move forward. Well, we did that subconsciously because we're going, wow, now I'm going out to life. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to do right. I gotta pay my bills. All of a sudden, you get
Mm-hmm.
medical bills, or you get utility bills, you get rent, you get mortgage payments. Pretty soon, you have 2 dogs. Maybe you have a spouse. Maybe you have a
Yeah.
family, right? And then you get 2 cars. All of a sudden, that job that we had maybe part-time in college is now a necessity of our life. Then what happens? We get busy. We get so busy that we forget about the time we have and where we really want to lead our life. Instead, we let life lead us. So I always ask everybody, look, are you job-led, or are you life-led, or are you joy-led? What that means is this. In fact, I'm big on acronyms, Zara.
I
That
noticed that.
journey of you.
I noticed that. And,
You know what the
you know, this brings me to because this is important what you're saying. So, yeah, people get caught up in that system, right? But at what point, how do people know they're living out of alignment? Because they follow that system, and I think they keep using the same strategy. Like, for example, I notice this a lot. People work in a job, like you say, for a very long time. They're in a corporate position, and all of a sudden, you know what? I'm leaving this job. I know this is a system. I know I can do better. I'm going to start my business. But again, they start getting busy too. Like I mentioned, they just start chasing leads. They just start working 24/7. So there is no difference.
No,
Why would
you
you be
bought
living like
yourself.
that?
Yeah, you bought yourself a job. I mean, to be honest with you, and to be honest with the audience, I've never worked for anybody except when I was in college. I had a really strong mom, and she was a wonderful woman, and she really directed myself and my sister, say, you're not going to work as hard as your dad, because he would come home at night, like 10 o'clock at night, and I would see him as a young boy, and he was great. He looked like, and he was climbing the corporate ladder. He had people clawing on him below him on the ladder, trying to keep him back. And the bosses didn't want him to exceed and take their jobs. So it's this constant struggle in that environment. But so she always said, hey, you're going to have your own thing. You're going to get out there and you're going to have your own business and so forth. She got it half right. So what happened to me was I started my own business right out of college, thinking, great, I got all the tools. I hired architects to come work for me. I was a graduate architect, right? And I thought I had the world on a string. And all of a sudden, I started getting some really big bills, like payroll. And all of a sudden, everybody else got paid except me. And how many people own businesses feel that way, right? And
Yeah.
what I found out of 16 years of that existence, I had about 20, 25 architects on staff. And that's actually maybe in terms of businesses for an architectural firm, that's a good sized firm, right? And those are all professional careers that you're paying for. And I remember, man, I would wake up every 2 weeks going, do we have enough in the bank to make payroll? And, you're constantly chasing money, trying to
Yeah.
figure it all out and try to get it.
Mhm.
Anyway, I did that for 16 years. One day I woke up and I've had it. I'm not doing this anymore. There's got to be more to life. I was working 8 days a week, 16-hour days, and I'm not exaggerating. I was a young guy ready to get a heart attack. And
Is
so
that
I
the
sold
moment
my
you realized that you were in survival mode? I'm assuming.
right. So I sold my practice and became a commercial broker where I buy, sell buildings and help tenants and so forth. That's a nice core business of mine. I made some good dollars out of it, but I never run out of business because I'm always giving value, right? And we'll get into this in a quick second. I never have need of having to go work or chase clients because the value that I've given to clients will always come back to me. Anyway, so
And
then
how do you do that? How do you do that? Because this is for someone who's starting up a business who has nothing, right? And they got to pay bills. So it's like a really difficult position to be. I have a full-time job with most of the time it's like that. And then I want to get here. How, how do you do that?
yeah, well, give everybody a clue here. It takes work. So let us go through how you do that because that's a great question. Because and don't take this insultingly. In fact, let me do a disclaimer here. Jobs are wonderful. Okay, first I just want to say that jobs are they're there to help you pay your bills. Okay, they're not there to go get you rich.
Mm,
Okay,
absolutely.
your job is there to help you pay your bills. Les Brown, a good mentor of mine, said one of his great quotes was, "You only work hard enough so they don't fire you, and they only pay you enough so you don't quit." Right? That keeps us hooked into that environment until the day you say to yourself, "Where did all the time go? My time's way too valuable. I'm tired of selling my time on the cheap." Remember, jobs are there to help manage your monthly lifestyle. It's
Hmm.
not there to create freedom for you, right? If you had freedom, you wouldn't be at the job
You know,
at the end of the day. So it's there for one particular. So everybody understand that. In fact, even in today's world, please understand that. You may say to me, and I've had people say, "Ted, but I just love my job. I love my job. It's great. It's like I love getting up in the morning. I love going out to lunch. I love being told what to do." If that's you, that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. We need a workforce in our society like that. That's wonderful.
yes.
But
Yes.
understand one thing else, especially today. You have this little thing called AI knocking on the door of your job every single day. There's a great book out there by Dr. Hardy, and it's Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty, right? Most of us don't think that way. We're not thinking of like, well, what if my job is taken away from AI? And let me tell you, it is coming fast. Right now, you're having robotics in hospitals. AI is a great thing, but it's also we have to readjust our mindset on what we're
Yeah.
doing as human beings. That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
But you brought up one thing, Zara, and that is the alignment of joy early on. And what is the alignment of joy? It's 4 items. It's mindset, and we're going to get into your next that other question you had. Well, how do I do?
Hmm.
I'm here. How do I get out of it?
Yeah.
My mindset, identity, time. Pardon me, everybody. Mindset, identity, time, and direction. Those are the
I like
four
that. I like
pillars
that.
of joy. And we start off in Finding Joy, Journey of You. Every chapter in the book is a journey chapter, is a journey of some facet of our life. And what the book really tries to do is it tries to give you the ability to stop and think for a second, say, is this how I want to continue my life? Right? How did I get to where I'm at today? Big clue, everybody. We've all got started in the same way. Like I said, we were all taught the very same thing. So the very first chapter is called Mindset, Journey of Mindset. In starting writing the book, I went in and did a lot of research on Carol DeWitt. And she's a university professor at Stanford University. And she talked a lot about mindset. And she said, you either have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And in Finding Joy, we really dig deep in this and we say, no, wait a minute. Maybe what we have is a bandwidth of mindset. None of us are completely fixed and none of us are completely growth. But most of us, 95%, 96, maybe up to 98%, is on the left side towards a fixed mindset, right? It's where we live. It's our comfort caves. We enjoy our comfort caves because we believe more in our limiting beliefs than we do in our ability to be successful in opportunities or get over hurdles. Right? It's just,
So
again, the way
identity. I like what you say, identity, because identity plays a huge role right here, right?
Exactly. So mindset is one of the aspects of it. And a good way to change mindset, and let me give everybody a big clue here. If you want to start this direction, everybody, if you're
Sure.
sick and tired of being sick and tired, please scream out a yes. Even if you're in the car or whatever, just go ahead and say it. Say yes. Make everybody think you're crazy. It's okay. We don't read as human beings. And we don't read, we read stuff, maybe newsprint or, stuff that maybe in the tabloids or whatever, but we don't really read. We don't download any better application to what was downloaded early on in life to our cerebral hard drives, right? We were taught to stay in line. We were taught conformity. We were taught to sit in the desk and survive another day, right? That's what we were taught. That was the basis of our foundation. Once we got out of college or high school, we stopped learning. We had a bunch of subject matters we were learning about, but we stopped downloading new programming for our brains, and we let the world program our brains, right? Through reality TV programs, through, I guess, Facebook posts.
What I call the matrix, right?
Yeah, scrolling 3 hours a day, right? All that stuff goes to your hard drive above your shoulders, everyone.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm asking everybody to do, you want to change your mindset, you want to go from here to a better life forward, give yourself 15 minutes. Everybody's got 15 minutes? Raise your hand, scream out a yes. You got 15 minutes. That's all you need to start changing your life. Because what you're going to do in that 15 minutes, and it's non-negotiable, everyone. This is non-negotiable every single day. I don't care what you're doing, how you do it. Every single day, you have to do this. 15 minutes, you pick up a book. It could be Finding Joy, Journey of You. It could be a John Maxwell book. It could be a Tony Robbins book. It could be a Grant Cardone book. And we actually talk about a number of books. We give you a book list in Finding Joy, Journey of You, right? To go start reading. What you're doing is you're downloading new information to your brain. You're synchronizing your brain to a different thought pattern. So if you read 15 pages a day for 365 days, get this, you have read over 5,400 pages. So is 15 minutes a day good enough for you guys?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
15 pages. At the end of the year, 5,400 pages. That's huge. That's about 18 books.
And people don't read.
Now,
it's unbelievable.
So at the end of the day, you have read over 18 books in the course of a year.
Yeah.
18 books, right? How would your life be changed from today to 1 year from now if you could have read 18 books in that year? Everything changes. Your outlook changes. The value of your time changes. Your friendships change.
Yeah.
Everything around you starts changing because your perspective on life has been elevated from what you're used to. So if everybody, give me a commitment. Can you take 15 minutes a day? Scream out a yes, I can do that, Ted, 15 minutes a day. And I'm going to do a cheap plug here. I'm going to do a cheap plug.
I'll keep that
Buy,
commitment, believe me.
go out and get Finding Joy, Journey of You. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. We also have a great website. It's called www.findingjoy.us. I love the extension because it's about us together as a humanity in the boat that we're all in. We're here to help each other raise our value. So, number one, get Finding Joy, Journey of You. And the reason I say that sounds like a cheap plug, and maybe it is to some extent. But what it is, it's a great primer book before you get into the John Maxwell books, the Bob Proctor books, the Les Brown books. Those are like physics. I've read them all. Right? And you're going to say, what? I got to do that. It's like, you're crazy, right? So get a great primer that will coach you into graduating up to a book like a John Maxwell. Remember, Finding Joy is a real book. It's 400 pages. It's not just a little pamphlet. It gives you great information to get your mind ready to change your life. So, identity. You brought it up, Zhara, identity.
Yep.
You know, the short story about this, and I can go on and on. We could have 2 or 3 more programs. I know our time's limited, but identity, I'll make this short and fast. Identity is extremely important to us. It's your branding. Who are you? How much respect you have for yourself. When you open the doors of your house or your apartment, how does the world treat you? How do you treat the world? What level of respect do you have for yourself? What do you look like? What is your branding at the end of the day? You know, Procter & Gamble and some of these mega billion-dollar companies, they spend billions of dollars on marketing products. Kellogg's cornflakes, right? Why do you pick out a brand of cereal versus the generic brand? Because you were taught through branding, trust, know, like, and trust. Right? Those 3 major words: know, like, and trust. Value packed. You go to that because you believe it's got the greatest value, right? You know how much money we spend on ourselves, investment-wise, to help ourselves grow? Literally none. You know, now I know you have coaching programs yourself, and you know, everybody, I don't care where you go to, and I think Zhara will say this also, go get a mentor. Every successful person I know has a coach. Sometimes you're like, well, why do they need a coach? Because that coach, number one, keeps them humble. Number 2, keeps them accountable. And number 3, keeps them focused. Because what happens in life, we get busy. And busy does nothing except keep us on the fence of life stuck. Right? So understand, to change yourself, it takes some investment. Now, investment, reading a book, that's the cheapest way to get your investment. But on the other side, go out and find that mentorship. Find Zhara, right? Find a Ted Kopecko. Find a Les Brown. Find one of those people that you can gravitate towards to help your life move it forward, because you know that there's more greatness in you. And that's what Les Brown will tell you. Time. The third pillar, time. How important is time, right? It's the obvious statement.
I love time.
But you know something, guys? We all have a time bank. Did you know that? You go every morning, you may not know this, but virtually you go to your time bank. Once you wake up in the morning, it's the very first thing you do. You do it so often, you don't even recognize it. But you go to the time bank, and what do? You withdraw so much time every single day. And you spend
and I think
that
people just spend it in the wrong way. I think so. The majority of people that I have come across, they spend time in a very disorganized way.
Of course, because busyness creates that dysfunction in our lives. You know, we're working. We're so focused on our job, doing widgets or driving the forklift around or in the hospital helping patients or whatever. We're so that by the time we get home, we're still busy. We got to cook dinner. We got to do this, got to do that. Then we just go, I just got to turn on the TV set and watch some mindless reality program. Now all you're doing is you're enforcing that cycle over and over and over. You guys hear that? Give me a yes if you understand what I'm saying here. It's so
They are.
important to understand that. So time, you have a time bank. How are you selling your time? Are you selling your time on the cheap, which most of us do? Or are you selling your time to the highest bidder? Do you have a Dollar Tree store selling your time? Or do you have a Neiman Marcus selling your time? It's how you look at your time, right? And then you may say, well, wait a minute, Ted, my job's not going to give me anymore. No, your job probably won't, but you can. Because what you have to do is refocus your efforts on your life and not towards your job. Your job is there. They've paid so much of your time during the day. Your job is there. You need to fulfill that, be responsible. But that other time you have, maybe a little bit more of that entertainment time, subtract a little bit of that entertainment time for yourself. Create a new pathway for your life forward. So you have a time bank.
Yeah, and that's when I observe. This is when you mention about time, not only people who are working at their job, but also people who start their own business and they start chasing the wrong people. They start chasing the wrong leads. They start spending the time where they're not supposed to spend it. And I'm working.
I've done it.
I don't know if that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, we're all the same, right? I mean, this is what it's all about. We've all gone through different pathways in life. And I found a pathway that makes perfect sense for each one of us to take to be able to do this. Now, everybody get a pen, write this down. This is the secret sauce of success. Everybody, get this down now. Find a greater purpose for yourself in order to raise the value of your time, to become valuable in a process, to raise the value of other people's time, to gain ultimate freedom in your life. Now, think about that. Whether you like him, dislike him, or whatever, Elon Musk, in fact, get politics out of this. At the end of the day, that just clutters up your brain. So look at people not in terms of a political eye. Look at people of their achievements of what they have done, right? But you look at an Elon Musk. You know how many books Elon Musk reads in a month? 12 books a month. He reads 12 books a month. I'm only asking you guys to read 18 books in a year. Mm-hmm. He reads 12 in a month. You know, when he started PayPal, do you think he knew what he was thinking about or how to run a company like that? No. What he did was he picked up books and he started reading about how do I get money exchanged on the internet through a process or a system? How do I do that? He didn't look at failure. He didn't look at failure as a setback like most of us do.
Yeah.
Because of that F in grade school we got. You're a bad person. You got an F, right? You're not good enough. No, he wasn't afraid of failure because he knew one thing. Failure was just that next step for success. When he started SpaceX, in fact, no, the next one was Tesla, right? He didn't know anything about cars. Mm-hmm. But he read a lot about electricity in cars and motor that ran on electricity, right? Then he started SpaceX. He's not a rocket scientist, right? We give excuses for people because excuses we like for ourselves. It makes us feel better. We say to ourselves.
And I think that this is important when it comes to identity. Tell me, what do you think about this? Because it's very hard for someone, and I have seen this a lot, to really know who they are. They think they know who they are, but in reality, they don't. Like, look what's happening in social media. In my opinion, a lot of people look for validation. Let me pause on social media. Let me do what this person is doing. Let me just post this funny video because it will help me with my business. Let me just keep doing this every day and let me see how many followers I got. And then, I mean, it is, and I see this pattern very often, but do you really know who you are and what your goal is and what makes you happy? What
Yeah,
fulfills
see,
you?
and part of what you're saying is it's fueled by being scared, right? It's being scared that you're going to fail in life. So you're chasing you're chasing the little shiny objects all around you, right? You don't need to do that. What you need to do is recognize that you're good enough and invertly look into yourself. Invertly say to yourself, and that's why give yourself a reprieve. Give yourself some grace. Tell yourself, you know something? I need to get a book like Finding Joy, Journey of You. I need to get a respite to recalibrate what I was taught in my brain and what was downloaded. I have to refocus myself, and that's not going to be overnight,
Yeah.
right? Now, going out and doing social media plugs and stuff like that, most of this stuff is not done based on value.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of it is done on superficial stories, right?
Mhm.
And so not only are you kind of wasting your time, but you're also letting other people waste their time reading about stories that are not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and the majority of people that follow those things is not the people you really want with you. You
That's
don't think the
true.
sort of followers you
Well,
want.
that goes into this other aspect of time. Jim Rome will tell you this, and we go into this really deep into this, is our friendship circles. Jim Rome will tell you, you're the sum of the 5 people you associate with. And he goes on to say, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Right? Remember when I said that
Yes.
at the end of the course of a year, after you read 18 books, that you're reprogramming your brain, your friendships will change. Because one thing about friendships, some of your friends, now I'm take away your family, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
your spouses or somebody that's super close to you that you love. And maybe even so, this will happen too. People don't want to see you succeed. It's a
Yes.
really selfish thing we have in ourselves. We don't want to see people succeed, and the reason for that is because it's a reflection upon us that we're not moving. So what tends to happen is those type of friends are really not friends. They're keeping your life behind. They're keeping you in their friendship circle. If those are those friends that you have, the ones that are keeping you behind, the toxic relationships, the negativities and stuff, get yourself out of those. And if you do what I'm asking you to do 15 minutes a day, you will start
Mm-hmm.
gravitating your brain away from those people because they won't understand what you're reading anymore. The
Yep.
conversations won't be the same anymore, right? They're going
It's
to
a
be
different
more
level.
elevated. It's on a completely different level. You're exactly right. So the last one is destination, direction. Where are you heading to? So, I always say this to everybody, close your eyes for the next few minutes and just dream of the place you want to be at in 20 years from today, right? Everybody's got their eyes closed in the audience. Just think about this for a second. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. If you're jogging, you got this on your headset, right? It's okay. But do this for me. Think about where you want to be in 20 years from today. Just 20 years. Just think about, and let me kind of guide you through it. Let's say you open up the front doors of wherever you live. What are you looking out towards? What is the neighborhood? What's the scenery? Is it a gorgeous beach? Right? Who are your friends? Who do you want to be around at that moment in time? And not to get materialistic, but you know, you don't have to worry about your credit card at the end of the month, right? In
Yeah,
other
that's
words, you have freedom in your life. You're not worried. You're worried about maybe where you're going to go to dinner. Like you want Italian food, but you wanted to go to Italy and you don't have to worry about it, right? Ultimate freedom in your life. So think about that place where you're at right now. And you're there and you can smell the salt air from the ocean. That's mine.
mm,
I want to be by an ocean. I want to have a beautiful condo, beach.
I want to buy an island. That's what I want to do.
There you go. You're thinking you're 10xing this up there, Zara. That's awesome. Right? So there you are on your island. And now for 1 second, think back to today, 20 years earlier. What would you do differently today to get that lifestyle you want to have in 20 years? Okay. That should be an awakening point for your life.
Yeah.
So don't do this tomorrow because tomorrow never comes. You have to do it today. And you can do it very
Late is
simply.
too late.
Yeah. You can do it very simply. Just pick up a book. I don't care what it is. I would tell you get Finding Joy Journey of You first, just because it's a great primer book. It stair steps you up to the John Maxwell books and the Grant Cardones and so forth. Start changing your life that way. And then you start needing to ask yourself that big question is, are you life-led? Are you job-led? And you know what the acronym for job is? Just over broke, right? Are you just over broke led? Are you chasing money or are you chasing value? Are you joy led? Are you being intentional about your life and the next steps you're taking? Yes, you may have to have your job for the next so many years. But while you have your job, what you're doing is you're perfecting a new purpose in your life.
Yes, that's the key.
Until you can wean yourself off your job or fire your boss. It takes effort, it takes time.
So don't quit your job without having that direction.
Pardon me?
Don't quit that job without having that direction.
Yeah, right. Wean yourself off your job, right? But at the end of the day, what you'll find is the value of your time will come back tenfold to you, and you'll never have to worry about another paycheck in your life. I've done it.
Amazing. I mean, your book really resonated so much with me, and I hope more people keep, more people read it, more people benefit from it. I think it's an amazing message that you are giving, to the public, to the audience. What do you hope readers remember after reading your book? The final message that
first off, and I say this, and I really truly mean this. If you know me and my heart and so forth, it's really about value to make sure that person gets a lot of value and they can step off of the life they have to the life where they're going to. We have a great website on Finding Joys, findingjoy.us.us. I love the extension on that. But go to findingjoy.us. You can get the book there, or you can get it at Barnes & Noble or Amazon or any bookstore. Mm-hmm. They'll look it up and order it. It comes in an audio book and also an ebook and so forth. But if you go to Finding Joy, the website, fill out the little application, say, hey, Ted, I'm with you, right? Because we're building a joy community, right? And on there, we have a free workbook. Now, that workbook is a serious workbook. It's about 80 pages long. A lot of thought and effort went into it. So it accompanies the book itself. So as you're reading the chapters, you're going along in the workbook, and you're slowly changing your direction. Well, if you finish that workbook, do a reel on it. Show me you finished it, right? Show me all the answers or your answers and so forth. And if you finish it, do a YouTube reel or a Facebook reel. Show it to me. Get it out there in the world. And if you do that, I will give you a Finding Joy Journey of You diploma.
Wow.
That diploma. Now, I want to tell you something. It may sound silly, but it's a real diploma, right? You can hang it on your wall, and it becomes your flag of your life. Because you are graduated. Yeah, you have graduated out of your past life into your future life. Right?
So if they want to find you, Ted, where do they find you?
They can message me on findingjoy.us. I'm also on LinkedIn, Facebook. You can type my name in. I'm plastered all, just like you are, plastered. So it's pretty easy to find me. It's Ted Kopecko, Kopecko. I would love to hear from you guys. We are putting some fun things together on the website and so forth. And, really, because we want to have a joyful life. Joyful life is like an acronym. Let me see if I can remember it. Journey of
You love
you.
acronyms.
Yeah.
This has been amazing. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today, for sharing not only your expertise, but the experiences that shaped your journey, Joe.
Zhara, and you're doing so much great work. I love your podcast too. Yeah. This has been a lot of fun. Hey, audience, have you had fun today? If you have, please give me a yes. Scream
They
it out.
have.
Let everybody know. Let everybody know. And let's do this together. Let's do life together. And I think, people like myself and Zara and so we want the best for all of the listeners out there, for the audience, to gain a greater life forward. We're pretty much all the same. It's just that we're all different flavors of ice cream, right?
Absolutely.
But we're all ice cream,
Yeah.
right? So let's get over all this stuff. Yes, we're different flavors of ice cream, but we're all, at the end of the day, we're all ice cream out there. Let's have some fun in life. Let's help each other move forward. Let's help us get out of struggle and into freedom.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Remember, life isn't defined only by the big milestones. It's often the little wild experiences that shape who we become. If you enjoyed today's episode, please follow the podcast, leave a review, and share it with someone who would enjoy this conversation. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep embracing your own little wild experiences. Thank you so much.
Awesome.